Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Multilinguistic International Coach Therapist from DCTcentre, and with me is two lovely ladies, Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to higher dimensions of being. Morganne has been called healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morganne is here to serve those who seek great understanding of their sacred spiritual self, uh, have a deep desire to integrate consciousness in their 3D world. And with us as well is Jeanne Reina, licensed psychotherapist in the state of Washington, working primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeanne sees herself as lifetime student of growth. She continues taking classes to enhance her knowledge base. So please remember, if you or your family or friends are interested in personal therapy and healing, you can reach out to Morganne, Jeanne, or myself. All contact details are in description below the video. If you like what I do, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channels. Okay, hello, 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 my wonderful, lovely ladies. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. We're busy over here making home repairs, which is great, and getting brand new stairs. Isn't that the ascent is going to be beautiful? So I'm really grateful about that. But just busyness, which happens is in the summertime. Getting everything ready for the winter, I guess. But I'm good. We're just busy.
How about you, Jeanne?
Yeah, I'm busy as well. I am, doing a bunch of different things, and I'm going to be going away for the weekend over to eastern side of Washington. The Cascade Mountains distinguish between the west and the east, and so I'm going to east, and the east is really hot. So
Really hot, very dry. It's desert over there.
Yeah. So, but it should be fun. I haven't. It was on my bucket list to get over there and go into. We're going into Walla Walla which is wine country, and seeing how going to different wineries and seeing how they grow the grapes and the whole process. So I'm excited.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
If you drink wine,
Yes.
I don't, so it won't be fun for me.
I'm a great wine taster, not a wine drink. Jeanne knows that about me. I'll have that much wine.
Yeah, and I don't drink that.
I don't.
I'm not a drinker, so like I do it every once in a while, when I'm with people. So, but I'm really excited to go here because there's, it's so eastern here in the western part of Washington. There's all these wineries, but they ship their wine from eastern Washington, where they grow it, where they grow the grapes and make the wine, and so I'm really excited to see that process.
Yeah, I think they grow hops out there too, which those are beautiful plants, very beautiful, and that's used in beer making.
Right. And I've never been there, so that's why I'm so excited about it, because it's been on my bucket list.
Very cool.
Yeah. Have you been there, Morganne?
I have been, and I enjoy that. I've been on several wine tours around the country. One of my favorites actually is in Napa Valley, though. The Napa Valley wine tour was just beautiful. Went to Walla Walla, probably 20 years ago, so it's been a while. But again, those fields are so beautiful, and the wine process is it's sacred in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's phenomenal to watch it. And we have wineries here too, Daga, where we live, like just up of the road. We have several wineries here that we enjoy going there, listening to concerts, and they do all kinds of. It's very active over here. So
yeah, there's actually 100 wineries in the area that Morganne's talking about, and they so a lot of the place, I say wineries, but they're wine shops. Like they have tasting and everything, but some are in warehouses, some are in beautiful chateaus and things. But it's a really nice place.
mm-hmm.
And
and most of them have their grapes are shipped from Eastern Washington.
Right. And yeah, and it seems like it's growing every year more and more, the area there.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty phenomenal to watch that growth around a whole industry like that.
Right.
Beautiful. Yeah. You know what I saw, and I was like, I got kind of excited on Jeannie will know this road 522 that gets me out of my part of the world into civilization. They have a big huge SpaceX. SpaceX is there now. Like it is massive. It's massive. I'm going to drive over there next week and introduce myself. Welcome them to the neighborhood, and and just find out what they're up to. I don't know why I want to do that, but I just think that would be fun, and I'm kind of excited about seeing a SpaceX in my backyard. It's pretty cool. To Mars. I'd so go. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. What we will be talking about today?
Well, there's a lot that we could pick up from the world. There's a lot changing. Something that's I'm finding with my clients. I've noticed this for the last maybe week or so, maybe 10 days, but like really within a week, people are having interesting experiences with time. Before, we would have conversations about how slow time was, or how fast time was. And I think the last few years we've experienced it. It felt like days just were right on top of each other, and time speeding up and lost time and all of that. But now the conversation is like, it's like slow. It's like days that feel longer. And I wouldn't have thought about it too much, but it's happened a couple of times in conversations with my clients. So I'm putting attention on that. Well, what is that? Well, as I go back and I look at what's happening in our world, we had an interesting thing that happened, that CERN machine was turned off. So the CERN machine that's been in Switzerland, and what I'm given to understand is that now that machine's turned off, that we're not under the influence of that grid work of that CERN machine, and now time is going back to its normalcy, and we're going to experience that as a slowing down. More of a not hassly, not chaotic. It's going to just become an opportunity to just get back into our normalcy of pace. But humans, as I'm understanding, we're not used to that, because we're used to being ramped up and used to being I got to hurry up, I'm running out of time. It's like all that angst and agitation around time and responsibilities. And what I'm understanding now, and I'm going to do a check-in with you ladies. What have you heard? What are you experiencing regarding this shift in energy? I will say, though, when I kind of just checked in on it energetically, when I was looking at the CERN piece, which they say that thing modulates weather, that it does all kinds of things.
So Morganne, I'm not sure. I'm not aware of the CERN machine. So can you
Me
elaborate a little bit on
too,
that?
Morgan. Please explain to us.
Well, let's see. I'm not ready to give a whole talk on CERN because I'm just, I mean, I've known about CERN for a long time, but let me just pull some. Could you just chat for a moment while I go get some information and let's.
Okay. Yeah, talking about what Morgan was telling about time slowing down, I find from my clients, I found that everybody is put in position where you have to make choices. You have to choose, are you staying in uncomfortable position or you moving forward? Are you want to like stay on old world or you need to change and go somewhere else? Sort of learn trust like I was, yeah. In March I was just suspect there is God knows where you can get you. All only way you can survive was trust. Yes, that everything will be okay. So, and I find many of my clients is that way, where they opening their eyes and they can't stay in that position anymore. Yeah, they need to choose. They need to trust. They need to take leap of faith. Yeah,
Yeah,
we take this leap of faith daily, but at the moment looks like next wave of people are taking the leap of faith now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Jeannie, what did you want to say?
um, I think I think there's something happening, with in the stars is the sky, the whole astrological aspect of it. But it seems as though people are, um, like you said, are shifting in a way that it's like people are being left behind and people are moving forward, and it's and I feel like the people that would be left behind because they're stuck in their stuff are also starting to move, which is beautiful. Like I just feel like
Yeah.
there's a major shift where people are moving and waking up to their lives and saying, "Is this how I want to be?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's an exciting time, and what you said about slowing down is, that has, I'm busy, but what I realize is I'm really enjoying my life. Like before I was busy and I was just, it was chaos, in my, because I was so busy. But now it's like I'm busy, but I'm really, really enjoying my life. And I just love the space between. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I found a little information on the CERN. So it's so the Large Hadron Collider. That's what it actually is a hadron collider. Is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator that pushes protons or ions to near the speed of light. It first started up on September 10th, 2008, and remains the latest addition to CERN's accelerator complex. The Large Hadron Collider consists of 27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets with a number of accelerating structures to boost the energy of the particles along the way. The accelerator sits in a tunnel 100 meters underground at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, on the Franco-Swiss border near Geneva, Switzerland. Inside the accelerator, two high-energy particle beams travel at close to the speed of light before they are made to collide. The beams travel in opposite directions in separate beam pipes two tubes kept at ultra high vacuum. They are guided around the accelerator ring by a strong magnetic field maintained by superconducting magnets. The electromagnets are built from coils of special electric cable that operates in a superconducting state, efficiently conducting electricity without resistance or loss of energy. This requires chilling the magnets to minus 271.3 centigrades, a temperature colder than outer space. For this reason, much of the accelerator is connected to a distribution system of liquid helium, which cools the magnets as well as other supplies. Okay, well, I could go on and read about the technicals of it, but I think I'm going to lose everybody in the technicals about it. But that thing has been operating since 2008, and they have shut it down. They shut it down maybe about 2 weeks ago.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they even start it?
No,
What's the purpose of it?
It's well, that I don't know the real purpose of it. I mean, I can look at what, they're saying they're using it to, it's a particle accelerator, right? So they're working with energies, they're working with space, they're working with time, they're working with all of those in the manipulation of that with this particle accelerator. So
but I guess I'm wondering, why would they want to do that? Because nature and the world has been in existence for for millions of years, and what's the purpose of it?
To take control of humanity, simply.
Yeah. I mean, I think the bottom line is that, right? They manipulate the weather with it. I don't know for sure, but I hear they manipulate consciousness, and that's one reason why the time thing has been a real issue for humans. Like always feeling like you're running out of time. It's like there's this overlay on us of that. They say it comes from CERN. I don't know for sure. All I know is they've shut that sucker off. So let's find, and it's supposed to be for 4 years that it's going to be shut off. They say it's shut down for cleaning for 4 years. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Dega, you wanted to say something?
No, I wanted to say that I hear that it was generating wormholes were actually for dark entities to be able to come to Earth as well. So and that's another thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And those are things we can't prove because we're not there. But that's what I hear is that off-world entities use that as a portal to come in and out. Yeah. And it's really interesting. It's in Switzerland, right? Which is really the only sovereign nation in the world. It is a nation that we can't go in and poke our noses into. They hold no responsibility for anything they do. They are what they call sovereign, so they cannot be judged. They can't be held responsible for anything nefarious that happens because of their status as a sovereign nation. And that's why a lot of offshore bank accounts are there. Very wealthy people bank there. I mean, there's a lot going on in Switzerland, but the CERN, that Hadron Collider in Switzerland, operating secretly for a long time, it's now being brought into the light about what it probably is. It's kind of hard because I mean, I could go on what I hear in the conspiracy realm, right? But I don't know if that's accurate.
I would say go on and tell us, please, because at the end of the day, I feel that those what they call conspiracies is actually the real truth.
Yeah.
And what they calling real truth is absolute, sorry, BS.
Yeah, well, that, one of the main conspiracies is that it punches a hole and creates a wormhole, and which allows. And I totally get that. And if I put on my in touch hat with reality, I'd say that's probably true. That's what it is. That's one of the main things about it. But what I understand too is that it's created a grid overlay for us. So we shall see how it goes, because it's been turned off, which means no portal opening for nefarious entities to come in and out. Well, I go, yay. That's a good thing. It's interesting to understand why now is that happening, especially when we're having so much alien disclosure that's happening publicly on mainstream media. I mean, it's all over the internet, right? So it's just interesting to see why is it shut down now? What is that all about? Especially with all the alien stuff coming out right now. It's all very interesting to me. And then I asked, well, what has it got to do with me? Right? So am I putting my attention on something that there's nothing I can control about it anyway, right? And getting ramped up in fear, which I'm not going to do that. But there are people that are kind of generating that conversation of fear. It's interesting. I look at like today's reading in our Course in Miracles. It takes us back to the beginning of Course in Miracles, where if you're studying the actual textbook, the first part of it is to begin to not trust at all what your eyes see. Just like what I see is not real. Right. And so it kind of, when I was reading the coursework today and looking at that particular piece, well, what's real, right? Is that real? And for us, I think that when we look at, well, how does that relate to me, right? So what, they turned it off, how does that affect me? Well, maybe it will be what Jeanne was talking about, more enjoying your experience. Like um it's like that angst has been lifted off. And I've noticed this for several people, that it's just kind of like not there. What if that was artificially put on us? you know who knows? um but what I know is we have to go back to what's our truth. And is this really something we should put our attention on? Or do we just continue our beautiful work of loving and supporting and healing and doing the things that we're called to do? So, I mean, we can get certainly mixed up in the dealings of the world, because we have to live in that too. But I don't think that our attention on that is oh, almost worthy our time. Does that make sense? That we have much greater work to do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think, I've been reading the Gnostic Bibles and the Gospels, and it's amazing what they say. In so many, they talk about how powerful human beings are. And this was, they were written before religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's And I'm also reading when Women Were Gods by Merton Stone. And the book was written like 1948, but she wrote about how she spent her life going back to the ancient ruins and studying and finding out all this information about how, like, about the goddesses and how powerful women were back when, and that was I mean, there's so much to say on this because I'm getting it from all different angles, and but it's like in the Gnostic Bibles. I mean, I keep on saying Bibles, the Gospels. They're talking about how there was no patriarch. It was just women and men having individual power, and how powerful human beings were. There was no distinction between the power of man and woman. And then the patriarch came in and did away with all the power of women. And, like when you think about the story of Adam and Eve, it was like Eve was created by the rib of Adam. And, she, like, it says a lot in the Bible about how she needs to be catered toward the man. And it's just really interesting how history, like time, deletes certain aspects of and can create its own narrative about what's happening.
Yep.
And I'm seeing it more and more. And I just think it's so interesting to go back and know the history of the world and what it was like back when, because you have all these ancient ruins that that had the technology to build these fabulous buildings, and pyramids, and it's like they definitely knew more than we did, because we don't even know how they made it today. And there's just so much knowledge back there.
Yep. Well, even in let's go down to the Cancun, where there's beautiful pyramids are there, and they in talking to the indigenous people, those pyramids were there before they got there. What they say is they've always been here. It's like, who built that, right? And there's pyramids all over. There's pyramids in the United States. There's pyramids in Louisiana, where I grew up. There's a pyramid mound site there. It's like, who built? And I love what you're talking about with the women. Excuse me. There's a lot of dust here, so I might cough a lot. Construction. Women have almost been systematically reduced to beneath, systematically reduced. And it's contrary to actually what we hold, because we hold the power, we hold the wisdom, we hold all of that. Like, who wanted all of that to go away? Who wanted all that to go away, right? And so, we talk about, conspiracies, but I'll tell you what, there was an agenda going on to eliminate the wisdom of women, the power of women, the influence of women in our world, and just relegate us to a servile position to serve. I mean, you can see this in biblical Christianity, that they've put women lower than man to serve man, and and that's incorrect. That is so incorrect. And I think that there is a rise in the wisdom. And I love that somebody is writing about that, going back and looking at who are we as women, right? And
can I get the book so I can show everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think about, I grew up in the South, and women. So I grew up in the South in the 50s and 60s, and that was definitely a time where women were. There was the movement of women's lib, right? Women's liberation, and it was like this need to split away, to get out of the out of the model that had been created as women as simply servants. But I also think, and I really feel this in my heart of hearts, that the way that was done was not correct either, because what it did was falsely empowering women with anger and judgment. So it was like, I look at how that was done, and it was almost like it made it worse for women, because it's very complex. And I know some people say, well, that was a good thing, the women rose up. I'm not quite, yes, I think it's good to remember who we are, but I think that way that it happened was planned. And I can sit in that and go, that feels correct to me. But again, for what purpose? Right? For what purpose? But when we look at women as who we truly are, and delve deep into our own wisdom and our power, we can rise as goodness, as intact, as wisdom, as that power, but not overpower man. That we each hold, we have a balance of who we are, right? And it's like both of those aspects are to be honored and cherished. And as well, within each individual, we have an aspect of masculine and feminine. So, and that must be balanced as well. So what I think is that we're in a period of balance, coming back to women, coming back to accepting who we are, not being diminished. Men rising up as who men are, to not be diminished, and come back into our true positions of divine individuals, rather than chattel, or what something has relegated humanity to be. Okay, I'm done with that. Show us books. Uh-huh. When God Was a Woman.
It's so good. It's it talks about all around the world, and how what the women, the powerful women around the world in history that we don't really focus on. And it's, we focus on man and all this stuff about man, and the woman gets pushed aside. But at a point, women were revered, and it was like it was turned upside down. And I don't know, it's just so fascinating because what I'm outside of that, it's like I'm like the Gnostic Bibles I'm reading, I can say Gnostic Gospels I'm reading, and they talk about how the human it's not man or woman, but it's the human that's powerful. We're more powerful than we ever thought. I mean, think about, in Catholicism, we were born with original sin. That's from like we're babies. We're born with original sin. Like they're getting us from very, very early in life. And so we grow up, being taught that we're born with original sin and we need to, repent and all this stuff. And for like there's no power in that. There's no like coming off into your authenticity. Yeah.
It's a setup for control. It totally is. And it
because you feel guilty and shame that you're born with the original.
I know. And yet well, yeah. How do we get rid of that? Right? We take back control of who we are,
right,
and stop letting others control who we are. And it's tricky because we've been under control all our lives.
Right.
Yep.
And this is what I come back to is it's about working on yourself, that you find your own authenticity and your own empowerment, because once you work through your stuff, that people can't put their stuff on you because you understand who you are. And so that's why it's so important, because we can worry about the CERN machine, but it's like we're more powerful than any machine. And it's like we can worry about it, and our worrying is not helping the universe, because we're all putting out this energy. And it's like, what do we want to put out? Do we want to put out love or fear? And it's our choice. And so it's like being aware of ourselves and what we're doing, and I just really feel that we're just tapping in to the power that we have. Like we said earlier, people are starting to make choices and not just being machines. Like we have to do this and we have to do that. We really don't have to do anything except what we feel is the highest and best for us. Because if each individual does what is the highest and best for themselves, then the world would be a much more happier, loving place, because everybody would be, there's not all this projection and on the others and looking outside for answers. It's like go within and do the work.
Yep.
And get rid of all the projections that people put on you and all the other stuff, and society. We don't even know. Like I'm learning about how much a culture puts on you. We have these beliefs that we don't even know where it came from. But and we have it. There's conscious ones that we know that we came from, but there's a lot of unconscious, cultural beliefs. From family, from towns, from society, like from the countries. It's just there's just so much layers, and it's just like then we have to come back to our authentic self. And they say even this body is not our authentic self. It's just we're so much more powerful. Than they would want you to believe.
I actually, after all what we discussed today, about power of women and how everything being controlled and so on, I would suggest everybody to look at YouTube. And in YouTube, there is two ladies who created wonderful series, The Fall of Cabal.
Yeah.
And there is original 14 series, and then is sequel of Fall of Cabal, and then is conclusion of Fall of Cabal. And I think each of them is something like 14, 15 series. Yeah. And I watched this, and now I have much more understanding where everything is, roots of everything is. Actually, how everything started, where it's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a wonderful job of putting down historically. Um, and again, I'm gonna look at that word historically, history, his story. It's time for her story now, right? So, or how about our story as humanity, right? Let's just take the his and the her out of that, and look at what's the story that's been overlaid on us, and that's what it's really happened, is an overlay that we took it on. We somewhere it was believed and somewhere it was picked up, and we became more and more separated. But then there's the ultimate separation where we believe that we're separated from our creator. And I think that ultimately that's what we're moving back towards, is our connection back with creator, and that's what gives us that remarkable powers that we really are, is our connection with creator, not our disconnection trying to figure it out in a 3D world, that lower density. No, it's when we have the capacity to fully connect with source, with creator, and be that in our world. That's the power. And women have, by our divine nature, we have an opening within us that easily allows that in, if we get in touch with that divine feminine recept. That's what the divine feminine is. It's a receptive nature. We receive. We're open to receive it. So I think that, as we, and I love that you brought up the two women. One of those women has passed on a couple of years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so one is left to finish, and yeah, and it was a tragic. It was a tragic death. So there was a lot, and I don't think that's been. It was considered a suicide, but there's questions around that. But of course, we know what they were doing. they were they were they were putting what their findings out in easily accessible ways. And it was spreading like wildfire because of the way they did that was so simple. So it was storytelling in in a beautiful way. So yeah, I love their work, and I love their courage to speak.
Really huge courage, I think.
Yeah.
So come up with such detailed explanation.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I just need to say it's really pouring down rain with thundering and lightning. So I might lose power. So if I go, I've lost the power. So just want to put that out there.
Awesome. I'm waiting for that to come up here.
I know it's really scary because it's so, we don't get thundering and lightning here. So it's a real rare occasion, and it's like, seems like it's right on top of me, so.
That's so cool.
And we came to best part of this show. We came to meditation part of the show.
Yeah,
Morganne, you have something for us?
Well, it's not me. It's, we'll go within and we'll see where guidance is taking us today. How about that?
Great.
All right. So I'm going to invite everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here. And I hope you're grateful to be here too. I'm going to invite you to get your feet on the floor. And really, I start these meditations the same way. And I do that because it's important that we get it anchored and grounded in our bodies, because these are the vehicles that take our beautiful soul and spirit around. And so to have it anchored in our body and be in resonance in our body with our sacred self, that's so powerful. So again, get your feet on the floor, and if your shoes are off, really that's so good, because then you can feel and experience the bottoms of your feet on the rug or the floor or wherever you are. But if they're in your shoes, just have that experience too. And so what I want you to do is, as you're just sitting there and you experience your feet on the floor, really feel into each toe. Can you feel each toe in contact with either your shoe or the floor? Just like, what does that feel like to have your big toe anchored, your baby toe anchored? What does it feel like to have your heel anchored and the sides of your feet? And isn't it interesting that they call this the sole of your feet, your soul, the sole of your feet? And in that carries nerve endings that speak to every aspect of your body. So just contemplate that for a moment. Your feet, where your feet are, how your feet are experiencing being connected. It's important to know that. And it's important to be connected in your body. And I'm going to invite you to take a beautiful breath in. And let that beautiful breath out. Nothing to hang on to. We can breathe in and we can breathe out. We can receive and we can let go. And continue to feel that experience of being anchored in your feet. And to bring more awareness to your feet, I'm going to invite you to step up and down with your feet like you're walking, even if you're sitting. Just like move your feet like you would be walking so that you feel the flexing, you feel your toes gripping, you feel how it lands. And just feel what that feels like to be sitting in place, but yet your feet are moving like there's taking steps. And now just bring your feet still. Take another breath in. And allow that breath to just relax your body. Choosing to release and let go anything like angst or fear or anything like that. We're going to take another breath in, and this time we're going to access any place that feels stuck or feels fear. So breath in. And if you have any constriction or angst in your body on that out breath, just let it go. Allowing your body to come at rest. And sense and feel, what does that feel like to let go of fear and angst and worry? If your container is free flowing and open to be filled, what do you choose to fill it with if we no longer are holding angst or fear? Your body is a container. What have you been carrying in your container? Again, we're going to take another breath in. Allow that breath to grab up any energy of fear or angst or anything that in that lower dimensional realm, and just let it out with your breath. Just opening up our container, free and clear and open. And invite you to make that decision right now. If you no longer had to carry fear or diminishment or angst or anger or anything like that, what would you choose to carry within the container called your body? You might choose peace. What would peace feel like in your body? Let's take a breath in and think about that for a moment. Breath in and breathe in a breath of peace. And just let that breath of peace just go in, and on the out breath, release anything that is unlike peace. And breathe in another breath of peace. Feel that breath of peace just clear out your head. Clear out stale thinking. Clear out stagnation. And on the out breath, release all that energy. And how about let's breathe peace into our hearts? So with a beautiful breath, direct your breath, a peaceful breath into your heart. Healing any brokenness, healing any conflicts, healing your heart. And on the out breath, release any stagnant energy around your heart. Now we're going to move into our our chakra, our seat of the will, where our will resides. That solar plexus area, bringing peace into our will, because that's the seat of our will, how we choose. So take a big, beautiful breath of peace into that solar plexus area and let out a breath of little will, the little will, bringing peace into our choosing. So we're experiencing peace in our bodies, anchored and grounded. We've been breathing peace into our heads, clearing our heads of any conflict or angst. We've been breathing peace into our hearts to bring a peaceful, loving nature to our being. We're bringing peace into our own will so that now we can marry the will of the divine with our will as a human incarnation. Take a breath in. Creator's will is your will. Creator's thoughts are your thoughts. Creator's love is your love. The divine is right there within you when we make the space for it to come alive. And we make space for it to come alive by letting go what's not for us to carry. Take another breath in. Accept your divine nature. And on the out breath, allow that divine nature to come into your whole being. Relax into it. And imagine in this time what it would be fully like to walk in a body of peace, to make all your choices based on peace. to allow that peace in your heart to have access to divine love so that our hearts are always offering unconditional love. And imagine what it'd be like to have our thoughts that come into our being to be thoughts of creation, thoughts of love, thoughts of kindness and goodness and growth and plenty and fullness, goodness and fullness for all. Take a breath in. That imagination is so good when we begin to create our new world where we're back in our beingness as who we were created to be, as love and light and peace and goodness, and where we are here to be that awareness and consciousness. And because of that, we're fully supported, we're fully supplied in all the most beautiful ways possible. Breath in. Receive that fully. And breath out. Relax into it fully. And as we've spent this few moments letting go what doesn't really belong to us and fully allowing what does and who we are and realigning with who we truly are, I bless each of our days as we walk in this state of beauty, this state of grace, this state of consciousness. And as we do this, as we move and live and breathe as this awareness, we unconsciously give permission to everyone else around us to do the same. Breath in. Receive that. Breath out. Fully relax into the vision. And so I just simply bless all that has occurred here this day, knowing that the conversation that we had was just right and perfect and moving within the hearts and minds of everyone who listens to this broadcast. As we bring ourselves back into right alignment, I bless the great work that we do. I bless the vision that's unfolding. I bless our humanity that's coming into right alignment with the truth of who we are. All the women, all the men, all the divine entities of love and light. And so in that love and light, in that blessing, I just simply give thanks and release us to walk our world in beauty, in grace, and in love. And so it is. You're on mute, Daga.
Do you have something? Thank you. Do you have something to say, Jeanne?
Thank you all for listening, for being here. Thank you, Morganne, for the beautiful meditation. And I got the name of the book wrong, but it's When God Was a Woman. And in it, it says, Landmark Exploration of Ancient Wisdom of the Great Goddess and the Eventual Suppression of Women's Rights. It's a wonderful book by Merlin Stone. And I look forward to seeing you later. later.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you. And thank you, everybody who tuned in today, who will be watching us next time. Please remember, if you want private sessions and get in contact with Jeanne, Morganne, or myself, please, all contact details are below the video in description. If you like what I do, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channels. And please tune in to my next show in half an hour, 7 o'clock. Will be my own show, Small Step, Big Change. So tune in to that. Have a wonderful evening, morning, day, wherever you are, and God bless.